Hello and welcome to The Hop, our final episode for the year. I'm your host, Matt Taylor-Farrington, and today I am joined by Martin. I've also got Nick and Sam here, and we're going to do a bit of a wrap-up of what happened throughout 2024. So Martin, thanks for jumping along. Let's talk about maybe some of the things that happened in the year. So I guess looking back at the year, what do you think was the most significant trend that you think we talked about on the podcast?
All right. I guess it would be the use and kind of the fear mongering around AI.
Yes.
So AI has gotten a lot more prevalent. It's been a lot more widely used. We use it a lot in our team. In the marketing world, there were a lot of fear mongering around that, but I honestly wouldn't be worried about it because honestly, with AI by itself isn't really that useful. But if you combine it with your own human perspective and your own human insights, it's the output and the results I can produce with that is amazing.
I agree. I think the biggest thing from AI's perspective that we learned was AI is great at supporting you, but it is still is in its early stages, and you need to read what it produces. Yeah. You need to give it more prompts, more information, and stay tuned for next year because we might be able to help you out with some AI and what we're going to be doing to run some coaching and training in that space.
So in my opinion, it'd probably be lead automation. I think it's something that we didn't start doing it in 2024, but it picked up a lot for us in 2024. We have a lot more clients, especially using Facebook leads. So some that switched from primarily using website leads to Facebook leads because they've just seen a higher volume. So I'd probably say, that's probably the thing that I've noticed the most.
I'd agree. I think people need to learn to embrace some of the automations that are there now and understand that you can create funnels that a lead may not respond immediately, but they will respond. And by having that funnel in place with the automation, whether it's SMS and email follow-ups, will definitely improve your lead conversions down the line.
Yeah, so I see all the background stuff for our podcasts and stuff. So our most viewed podcast episode on YouTube was with John Dwyer from the Institute of Wow about the Facebook contest blueprint. That's what it was called.
Yes.
Because personally, before we did that interview with him, didn't know a thing about that. Didn't know it was a thing. I saw contests on Facebook, but I didn't understand there was actually a marketing thing in the background with not all of them, I guess, but most of them.
Yes.
It is a very great way to capture leads because I think he said one person will get this free thing, but then if you have 1,000 people enter, one person gets it, then you have 999 people who are interested in getting it.
Yeah. I thought it was quite clever too, the whole, because it was a fence company and they had to upload a photo of their terrible fence.
Yeah, Australia's worst fence.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I thought it was great. Great idea, great initiative, and a great way to get engagement on socials too, because it's a great way to skyrocket your engagement, your likes, your follows, and all the rest of it. So it was great. I agree. All right. So was there a particular episode or I guess a guess that kind of resonated with you and why?
It would be John Dwyer. John Dwyer from the Institute of Wow.
Yep.
The direct response marketing agency. The reason being is that he said a lot of things in copywriting and sales that I found to be true in other people as well as myself whenever I analyze my purchasing decisions.
Yes.
And he is someone that understands people on the human level.
Yeah.
So, that's why he resonated with me, and I agree with a lot of the stuff that he said.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's an amazing guy who clearly knows what he's been doing. He's been around the block quite a few times, done a lot in the marketing space, and I think he was a wealth of knowledge for us in connecting with him and having a chat, and I guess sharing some of that insight that he had with our audience as well.
As Martin said, John Dwyer was great, but I think all of our guests were great. I think that's such a stereotypical thing, but everyone was great. I loved learning from Kira about advertising and radio, which I feel like is a very underrated thing that more people should do. And Kylie, who was our micro-influencer that we had on, and what her experience and stuff were with micro-influencing marketing, and just Jamin from Kinetics. I think we've had so many awesome guests.
Loz.
How can I forget Loz?
Nobody forgets Loz when she's in a room.
Fun episode to edit. I think everyone was great. I can't pick a favorite because someone will get mad at me. So
Look, I had fun interviewing all of them, actually. I think John was fun.
was the most eccentric, I think.
Yeah, and he liked giving me stick, and I gave it back,
Yes,
so that was good.
that was great.
That and the fact we got a road trip to the Goldie and back, which was great, down to
Yeah.
see him and check out his the space that he's living in down there, so that was great. So I really enjoyed that. Loz, I mean, Loz is just a barrel of laughs every time you
Yeah,
meet with
she's
her.
great.
And then obviously, with Kira. Look,
She's great too. What are you saying?
she's great.
I'll clip
She's
this and send to
but
her.
100%. But she makes me lose it every time when I'm trying to concentrate on the podcast, and I don't know why. It's just her. So it must be something about her face. But anyways, so no, I had a ball, and I think it was great to be able to bring information to our audience in a different way.
Absolutely.
So, I guess what was one of the most surprising or unexpected takeaways from this year that stands out to you?
One big takeaway that I have for the year is that you can sell literally any idea as long as it's crystal clear and simple.
Yes.
So literally keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate things because simple works.
Probably on the Hop episode for Google Ads being one of our highest engagement episodes. I didn't expect that, to be honest, because it's a bit, it's for lack of a better term, it can be a little bit drier than some of the other topics. It's not a super creative, like you have Google Display, but it's not usually a super creative like field. It's much more analytical and very search based.
Yes.
So I was surprised to see people tuning more into that than something like video or podcast, which were popular, but I would have thought would have been significantly more popular than Google.
So it suggests to me that there might be a gap in the market around Google Ads and Google Search and people's understanding around it, which that's the whole point of this podcast, was to communicate and provide information and value back to the local market to let them know what they should be doing and what they're doing. So that was quite impressive, actually, for me as well. When Nick told me that episode was kind of hopping off, it was really good to hear that feedback and to know that what we're doing is supporting and helping people, which is great.
I think it's really cool that we've actually gained clients from this podcast. Like they've actually listened to our podcast and went, "Oh, these guys know what they're talking about," and they've decided to engage with us, and and we've onboarded them. And I think it's just really cool because obviously, like, we're giving out this information because we're very knowledgeable.
Yes,
I think we are anyway.
Yes,
and like we're teaching people and stuff like that, but not everyone has time to run their own marketing and stuff like that because it's a huge task. That's why companies like ours exist.
Correct.
Especially with my side of things with videography and stuff. Like, not everyone knows how to edit things together.
Correct.
And stuff like that. So
yeah, I agree. I think I was surprised too. I mean, my goal and objective was to provide information as one of them, but one of our secondary goals was to become a knowledge base and a source that people trusted, and through giving away information and I guess what people would call the secret sauce of marketing, and kind of just saying to people, hey, yeah, sure, here's how it is, here's how to go do it, but if you need help, here we are, and we're ready to help, type thing. So I think it's worked really well. I agree, and I'm looking forward to 2025 and seeing what we can do with it. What's one blooper or behind-the-scenes moment that you're still laughing about? Yeah,
the handshake blooper, that was pretty awkward. And honestly, basically all of the times where I stumbled my words and stuttered, and the amount of times that we've had to re-record certain parts.
Yeah, I guess that's the beauty about a podcast, right? Is it's not live and we can get away with making mistakes here and there like we've just done. I think my highlight from the year was I still didn't understand. All I was doing was turning to point to you and you wanted to shake my hand. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, this isn't something that anyone else would have seen. It's just like a personal thing. But sometimes Nick sends me freeze frames of myself during the podcasts or other real videos where I just have sort of a funny face or something. So probably those. It's a bit of a private thing, and I'm not going to show them on screen. I'll ask Nick not to show them on screen now, but that's probably my favourite little blooper thing.
So if you could sum up the hop in one sentence, what would it be? Just remember, you edit it, I know. So for you, hard work's not the answer, Nick.
it's just because it's funny because, like, I've watched every episode. I'm like,
Yes.
I guess, the number one fan in a way because I've watched everything 1,000 times because I'm editing everything.
Yes.
I guess as you said in a sentence, I could just say in one word. It can just be 100%, I guess. But
Yes. Yes.
I think it's just, the 100%. Let's just go with that.
Yeah. It is 100%.
A digital marketing team pulling together all of the insights and experience that they've learned from working in several different industries into a podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Definitely a copywriter's response.
In one sentence, I would probably say, just trying to provide value back to our local market through easy to consume educational marketing content.
All right, Martin, wrapping it up. If you could predict one big marketing trend for next year, what do you think it would be? What do you think we're going to see change in the marketing space?
I think that the same marketing principles will just be applied differently with how technology is evolving and how AI is being used. So basically, the principles are still going to be the same. We're humans. We all have identities that we want to obtain, problems we want to solve, desires we want to fulfill, and the way that's being sold is just going to be applied differently with how everything's evolving.
Probably AI. It just seems to be. I mean, it was a big trend in 2024. It's
Yes.
probably going to continue to become more ubiquitous in 2025. Would be my guess.
Yep.
Could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
I agree. I think there's a lot of advancement happening in AI more and more. It's becoming more and more clever. The more and more we give it, the information, the prompts, the data that it needs, it just works.
You notice a lot of programs that you were using in 2023 and 2024 that didn't have any AI, and suddenly it's got like a little AI button somewhere.
Yes.
Like it just appears. It happened in Asana. I noticed it a little bit ago.
Yeah.
It's just like suddenly there's like a little dot at the top. It's like Asana
Yes.
Magic AI.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. So we'll probably see a lot more of that.
Look, I think it's great to embrace it. I think we just got to use it for what it's meant for and understand its boundaries as to what it does provide. And then for the rest of it, well, yes, you still have to work and do the work.
It's funny to say that because I was thinking about when you asked everyone else, it's like when I joined the company in 2022 and comparing that to now, especially when, Matt, Sam and Martin.
Yes.
I'm not even going to bother editing this. I was leave it in. Sam and Martin were talking about AI and thinking about that 2 years ago, I could not imagine how big it would have become. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it already existed in a way in a lot of things, a lot of programs and stuff, but the way it's exploded, it's insane. And you can't, I don't know, it's hard to predict what will happen. It's like, what we'll be talking about this time next year, what happened in 2025.
Yes.
It's just like, it's a bit unpredictable, but in a way, but
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Well, my big thing,
Oh, okay.
and it's meaning more work for you,
Oh,
but
God.
I think what's going to happen is, and we're seeing it now, you've got with Google introducing more voice-based talking to it, you're seeing it more in a lot of the applications now. I think what you're going to see is a shift from blogs as well. And I think you're going to see more of a shift to what we're doing now. I mean, we're already seeing podcasts about anything popping up, but I think more audio blogs is going to become a thing. I think you're going to see less written, I guess.
Yeah.
I
guess look at how popular ebooks are or audible books, people prefer listening to actually reading, which I'm not sure is a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. But but especially if you're in a car, you can't read something in the car.
I think that's the biggest thing is we're time poor. And I think, for me, if I want to listen to a podcast or listen to some information, I always look for the audio version that I can play in the car while I'm going to and from an appointment. So I'm multitasking. And I think we all like the word busy these days. We all like to be busy. And I just feel like that's a trend that's kind of changing, and I'm seeing it more and more. I'm watching more and more now. I'm finding myself going out and looking more and more at podcasts. So I think it might be a space. So Nick's going to love it next year when he's busy editing 1 million podcasts.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't know. It's a bit interesting because it just takes me back to TV days.
Yeah.
For example. But anyway.
Yeah. And I just think audio in general is just going to become a big thing.
Yeah.
AI is advancing into that space too. So I think audio is where it's going to be next year, and looking at how we can change it and adapt what we're doing to be audio based, basically, and less visual maybe. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's it from us. That's our wrap for 2024 regarding the Hop podcast. We hope you've loved it. We've hoped you've got something from it, there's been a takeaway that's helped you in your business. So make sure you stay tuned. Enjoy your Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you back in 2025.